any big guys, like any big changes you think that's going to happen?
Well, yeah, I know, like it hasn't been a full year since the draft, but like you said, I'm glad that they're doing it now. It just feels like they've hit a reset for a new year. Like WrestleMania is the end of their wrestling calendar year. Like, bring all the big feuds to an end there, start fresh on the new wrestling calendar. So I'm glad that's happened. It's just certain things I think they might go with, like Dean Ambrose, possibly, because now it seems a little bit suspicious that all three Shield members are like in the face kind of area. I mean, Roman's debatable, but the way they book him, they're trying to shove him down your throat. Maybe they think that might generate a little bit more interest in Roman. Perhaps that could be a way to go, but I think there's definitely some names that need to be swapped around here. Hopefully AJ stays on SmackDown, because that feels like the perfect brand for him. I just got concerns of people like Kevin Owens and Sami Zayn. They need to be split up, and we can't see that match again, surely not.
Yeah, I mean, I kind of feel like they may... I just got this feeling that they're going to put AJ on Raw. I just got that feeling that they're going to do that. But yeah, like you say, they do need him on there. But then again, I mean, I suppose it depends. Is he gonna now be a fully fledged babyface now because of what's happened here? Shinsuke Nakamura. Who's he gonna be needing feuds with? I think they need a few guys over on SmackDown. I would say, to help out. Kind of. I kind of feel Randy Orton as a champion. Like, he's gonna need a couple of opponents now, isn't he? He's gonna need some heels. So. Even though Randy, I mean, he didn't get a great ovation, did he? So it's debatable, really, what is going to happen here. But you do feel it's going to go that way. Do you think that they may put Cena back on Raw, Matt? Do you think that possibly is a new route as well?
That's a difficult one to call, really, isn't it? I suppose it all depends on how much time he's going to be there now. Is he going to be part-time, or is he going to give a little bit more time to wrestling? Because otherwise, it doesn't really matter too much. I would like him to stay on SmackDown, though, because if he is going to take this one match every couple of months, every few months, then that's a good option, because SmackDown has now sort of a little bit more of an association with the up-and-coming stars, with people now we've seen on there like Nakamura, and we saw AJ go on there. Now he's a full-fledged star, but other people on there like Baron Corbin on there, and I'd just like to see him come back every now and then to help put someone over a little bit. I think Raw is stacked full of top talent, and I don't really think they need him so much there.
Yeah, I mean, and I suppose the other big talking point, Matt, is Finn Balor finally returns. I mean, I suppose he's also another candidate, Matt, for SmackDown as well, I suppose. But we don't really want to see too many of the NXT guys that have already feuded with one another, like Joe and all the rest of it, sort of piled up together, because we kind of want to see new things for these guys. So they've got to be careful, I suppose, how they deliver this with some of those guys, especially like Kevin Owens and that. So it'll be interesting. What do you think about Finn Balor, though, Matt? Is he still going to be in WWE's eyes as one of the top guys? Because now Brock's there, it's sort of a bit of an issue. Or would you rather see him go to SmackDown now, Matt, where it might be a little bit more open?
This is a difficult call on this one, because he should be considered one of the top guys. It's just when you compare him to someone like Brock, the realistic side kicks in, and you're like, well, he's substantially smaller, and that could be something looked upon as a negative in their kind of matches together. Like, people might not get on the side of Finn just because of that. But if he was to move to SmackDown, I'd be for that as well. I think I would love to see matches between Balor and AJ, and that. I keep going back to AJ, but that's why I think SmackDown needs him so much, because he just feels like he's SmackDown through and through, and all the people that were to move to SmackDown would have great matches with him. Whereas if AJ was to move to Raw, it just I wouldn't like to see that so much, because I feel like he'd be competing with all the other top dogs. Like you said, like Brock is there, and I'm not too sure I would be into Brock versus AJ. But then hopefully Balor might move, because that might be a good move for him actually career-wise, because there would be a lot more people on the quicker side and more his size on SmackDown. Sure.
Well, guys, before we get on to the end of the show with some questions, just going to give you guys a reminder of our great sponsor at WrestleCrate.co.uk. It's a great new feature that we've got here with us, and just want to let you guys know about the website and how to get it and what is in it and all the rest of it. There are two different sign-ups that you can get. It's really easy. You just literally go on the website. Now there is if you don't want to be forking out lots and lots of money every month, there is a nice standard edition to this. It's just $11.99. It's not a huge thing. Once a month, if you feel like you want to treat yourself with some wrestling goodies, not just WWE stuff, but this stuff is like all from over, completely random stuff. Sometimes you will get things that are actually worth more than your subscription crate that month. That's how good it can be sometimes. So it's some nice packages. And then if you want to go to the Ultimate Wrestle Crate subscription, £21.99 per month. Really good deal. Some great stuff in it. Myself and Matt, we're going to be getting our first ones this coming month. Actually, we're in April. We'll be letting everybody know how much what's in it and all the rest of it and what we got from it as wrestling fans like you guys. So yeah, just to everybody, go along, check it out, wrestlecrate.co.uk, and I'm sure you'll be impressed with that as we were. Matt, let's get into some questions now then, because obviously it's that time of the year, Matt, where people are going to be really happy or really sad or really angry, like last year, I suppose. But let's start. We've got Ricky now. Mania was a great show, albeit I didn't agree with the Orton win. Well, that's fair enough. I don't think you're alone there on that one. But Clark now, Goldberg should have won, dude. How can you blast this guy? Goldberg will be back. Well, we knew, Goldberg has his, the listeners here, Matt. He has his faithful following, doesn't he, Goldberg? Listen. Yeah, when it comes to Goldberg, I'm not doubting his popularity and how over he is, but I feel as a guy who is 52, who hasn't been active, I kind of feel like to have him as the champion, he doesn't do much for the entire roster in a lot of ways, So I think he's had a good run, and he even himself, he's enjoyed it, he's loved it. But is he going to want to be around all the time? I don't think so. But do I think it's the last we've seen of him? No, I do think there's more value to get out of him. Matt, do you think we'll see Goldberg back again?
I think he has got that huge draw power about him, and much like you, I'm not doubting his popularity. It's just I wanna see more. I wanna see more in the ring. If Goldberg can come out there and put on a 10-minute match, then fine. That's great. That's what I would like to see that. But if not, then I think he has his place. Put him in the sort of mid-card kind of era. Put him against people like Braun Strowman or Rusev and that helps them out to get to be in the ring with a name as huge as Goldberg.
Sure. Okay, DX1 now. I liked Mania a lot. Hardys were fantastic. Taker's goodbye got me. I was crying by the end. Do you think Taker goes Hall of Fame next year? Well, like you, DX1, as I said earlier, it got to me as well. Next year, Hall of Fame, yeah, I suppose they could. They've done it with Edge when he retired, and they put him straight in, didn't they? So I guess there's no point hanging around, Matt, is there? There is potential for him to go straight in, isn't there?
Yeah, Undertaker was a legend. Let's face it, whilst he was wrestling, 10 years ago, 15 years ago, this guy was Hall of Fame material. There's no sense in waiting around, he's destined for it. Give it to him now, while the memory's still fresh in everyone's mind, and I think it'll be a big deal for the Hall of Fame next year.
Sure. Steve, Roman can go do one. This guy is a waste of space. He's awful to watch. I don't even care if he's heel. Last year, headline with Triple H. Year before, Brock. Now, Taker. Give me a break. I don't want to see this guy ever again, but I'm going to have to. I'm fed up with it. Don't know what to say. Well, that's interesting. Definitely did say something there. So he's not happy with a Roman. One thing I'll say about Roman, Matt, I enjoyed the promo he done on Raw. I thought that was done very well. All the fans were chanting all different things like "Go away," "You suck," and all the rest of it, and "Roman sucks." They were getting to it, but I felt he handled as a heel. This is what I'm saying. As a heel, this guy has potential to be the best heel we've seen for a long time. I kind of want to see Roman like this. You saw those little smirks on his face as well. It was perfect. Like, he used to do them as a baby face. That was the problem. But now he was doing it as a heel. This is better. And then, he just said a few words. But, the words that was it. That's all he had to do. And then walked off. I loved that. Like, it's my yard now. Perfect. Absolutely perfect. I'm not going to complain too much because I feel like they're not making it obvious, but it's kind of like, why would you need to when this guy's getting so much heat? For me, what do you think, Matt? Did you enjoy that promo?
Yeah, I definitely did, and I'll agree with you there. I feel like he doesn't really have to be a face, and he doesn't have to be a heel. I'm getting it now that he's just a Roman Reigns. This is a new kind of thing. Like, we're so used to black and white now, but Roman is such a great character. If you think he's your favorite wrestler and you like the way he does it, and he stands up for himself and he doesn't care what anyone else thinks, and that's great. He can be your hero. But if you hate the way that WWE is forcing him down your throat, and you think that he's taking out all of your top beloved superstars and just stepping on them, then he's the top heel to you guys, and WWE, from the amount of emails that we have in about Roman Reigns, I can't imagine the amount of noise WWE are receiving about this.
Yeah, no, totally. Oh, I think we lost. I think we got Matt.
About this guy, and as long as people are making a noise about him, he's a draw. People want to go and see him lose. They'll pay money to go there and see him lose, or hope that they will. And of course, I know there will be people switching off and saying they're going to boycott and that. But that's a shame, because wrestling, and WWE in particular, is more than just Roman Reigns. There's more reasons to watch than just like you don't like watching him or you do like watching him.
Yeah, no, totally agree with that. Okay, he's now we've got Jimbo, wrestler squad number 9. He's back. Goldberg lost, so I'm happy. Actually liked the match. What do you think about Kurt Angle as general manager? Is it a good choice? I like the idea. I said that this would be a good move for him. The only thing is, I don't want to see Kurt Angle doing too much of the comedic stuff. Like, I know that was a big part of the Hall of Fame, but I kind of feel there's more to Kurt Angle than, if people don't really know Kurt Angle that much, this guy is a serious athlete. He's, can actually whip a lot of people. So I don't want him to just do that comedic side of Kurt. I want to see the other side of him as well, especially if he's babyface, because otherwise you're going to get the whole Mick Foley effect again, and he's just going to be bullied around by Stephanie. So it really needs to be there. Matt, what's your feelings on that? And obviously the dynamic of his chemistry with Stephanie and maybe Triple H going forward.
Yeah, it's definitely a strange one to me. I'm glad that he is back with WWE in some capacity. I would have preferred to see him come back and do a couple of matches here and there, because he's a legend in that ring, for sure. He's got some of the best skills that have ever been seen in professional wrestling. So it's a shame that they are not being put to use in that way. And also, it just feels like the way that it was put across to me, it sounds like the Kurt Angle move as the general manager now seems quite permanent, because like there was no question about Stephanie or what kind of chemistry she would have on with him. So it kind of makes me wonder, how far is this going to go? How long is she going to be out of the picture whilst all this goes on? So I'm guessing we're in with Kurt for quite a long haul now.
Yeah, I mean, hopefully, I'm looking forward to seeing how he kind of reacts to some of the guys. I know we saw some of it on Raw, which looked good. So I think a lot of the guys can get a good rub off of Kurt Angle, because he's very, very good promos and stuff like that in the ring. So hopefully some of those guys that have been stuck in a bit of a rut will get a little bit of a rub off Kurt in that respect, which should be good. Okay, Raj now. Totally agree with everything you said on your review. You did a good job, Solo. Hope Matt is back soon. Yeah, Matt is back. That was one of many concerns that we had about you there, Matt. People thought I was making something up to, that you had some serious problems, but no, he's fine. He's here. But thank you, Raj. I'm glad you enjoyed it. Kevin, now the Bray Wyatt match was an embarrassment. Why did they book this? Do you think